So the point is, that's why the basis of marriage, like people said, is not supposed, people have said it, and I didn't just want to come and live from that angle. It's not for purpose. Because when you say people say find purpose before you marry. That's not what it means. And then a lot of people even misunderstand what purpose is about in the first instance. Alright? So you see, purpose is actually dual. Purpose will bring you personal fulfillment, and then it will bring you God fulfillment. It satisfies God. Your purpose satisfies God's. It satisfies God's. It brings God pleasure, and it brings you pleasure. That's the way. Okay. So the point is, it brings you personal fulfillment and it brings God pleasure. That's what purpose does. So when I'm saying that, is the fact that so people feel like, oh, when I find purpose, so they just go and say, okay, my purpose is maybe something, and then they just think that that's what will bring pleasure. No, actually, the purpose of it is fulfillment. That I shouldn't marry somebody. So, for instance, I married my wife for fulfillment. That's the reason why I don't feel. I'm not feeling like, oh, where about my ex? I didn't go. You expect children, you expect companionship, you expect those things, but those were not my primary expectations. My primary expectation is I will be able to marry a woman who has refined, who has grown, and who is living her dreams or her own uniqueness. That's my own that's the expectation I came into marriage for. All right. So on the other side, my wife's expectation for coming into marriage is to ensure that that through her union with me, she can multiply beautiful personalities and inspirational role models on the earth. And is she not doing that already? Just because. So you see, the point is, it's the baseline. It's the baseline. So we're not coming into a situation right now and I'm saying, okay, so what about this one? What about those? Those other expectations are secondary. All right. Yeah. So the point is, what is priority to me? What will bring fulfillment to me and pleasure to God is my wife's expectation for me, and vice versa. What will bring her personal fulfillment and bring God pleasure is it, and that's purpose. All right. So the essence of marriage actually is that I come in contact with you. Boom. I multiply the effect of my life. That's all.
That's like the mystery of the 10,000, the 1,000
and 10,000. That's all. In fact, is to puts it to flight. The first one, you are chasing. All right, you are chasing, but when you come together, all right, your personal fulfillment and bringing God that brings God pleasure, actually, all right, puts it to flight. That's my classic definition of purpose: your personal fulfillment and pleasure to God. That's your purpose. That's what, if you ask me, define what purpose is in my word. What brings you personal fulfillment that brings pleasure to God? That's it.
Well, and from this, I just learned something now. I've been having this same contemplation.
You have to. You have been sitting with me.
Yeah. I was saying to myself, because there's another regular saying around, make sure you merge your vision together, your purpose together. So people now begin to look for, like an expectation, you begin to look for somebody who probably, who was I saying to that? I'm not marrying somebody who will, for instance, if I have a ministry, I don't want an assistant ministerial person. Like, I'm not marrying somebody because she can sing to become my worship leader in the ministry. Somebody calls it associate pastor. I'm not wanting to marry somebody for. So it is, from what you just said, I just learned now that, so it's actually to help the person express more their own vision. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be that, because you're a singer, the other person has to be a drummer. No. Or because you're a speaker, the other person has to be...
No, it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be. At all. It doesn't have to be.
Because personally, I've been looking at, usually, before I got into a relationship with Ibuku, one of my standards is that the person must be somebody has got to I just had things in my heart that the person has to be this kind of my kind of likes, the things I like must be given to maybe helping people, doing ministry.
Then you will go and sell your family. Then you will sell your family. All right. So my wife, I enjoy agreement with my wife. All right. I enjoy agreement. That's what I enjoy. So you must. The thing is, you must be agreeable. All right. The person must find your yin making her yang. All right, and your own yang making her yin. There must be that kind of thing. You know, there are people you meet and you are just in the present and you zoom into the future. You may like them for the present, but you see, would you like to stay with this person for a long time? Or do you see that this person would change? All right. So I was giving a perspective to someone today. I said, you see, one thing is there are people who meet you now, but the moment they meet you right now, the truth is that you are so much into them, all right, that you don't want, because now they are close to you, you want to possess them. You're in trouble. And I said, nobody likes to be possessed. All right, in as much as people feel, oh, just possess. Nobody likes to be possessed. Everybody is a free moral agent. Even God doesn't possess people. All right, it's only the devil that possesses. All right, and obsesses. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Good. So the point is, people don't want to be possessed. All right. So if you keep coming into relationship and saying you want to, this is my own. The truth is that what they will be feeling like is somebody who wants to control them. So at the end of the day, don't marry somebody who wants to get into, and then you are now saying, oh, I thought this person was like that. That's what people assume a lot, because they would have seen. I always ask, didn't you see the signs? It always gives a sign. Maybe you were too blinded that you didn't see, because when you got into it, you had certain expectations other than the real expectation. I want to find out what's at the center of your heart. All right? What actually, when the push comes to shove, what is at the center? When everything is stripped out, what brings you personal fulfillment that brings pleasure to God? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to find out. Once I find that thing out, if I find it, that's what I will marry. That one can't change. It doesn't matter if your line of work changes, your externalities changes. It is that thing that brings you personal fulfillment, that brings God pleasure, that would be the bottom line for it. I don't know if you get what I mean. So that's the point. I was having a conversation earlier with my wife today, and I was saying to her that, you know what we have done, I was like, do you notice that I told her, I said, do you know that if we have small money right now, all right, they're thinking of who can we give something to. So, and then the way you give people money, sometimes you give people money and you don't have any other money yourself. Are you following me? So for instance, right now, I had 13,000 naira in my account. I sent you to take 2,000 naira, and then I sent 10,000 to the guy who is cleaning this place. I don't know whether you get what I mean. So at the end of the day, all the money has gone out. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Yes. All the money has gone out. That's how it works. So we found out that that's what we did. So we're now saying, hey, you know what? We need to mandate ourselves, because to do things for ourselves, all right, to think about ourselves, all right, it's now mandatory. I said that, do you know that most of the things we do in this house, if not that we put our feet on the ground and say we will do it, we won't do it, all right? We didn't have chairs in our house for a very long time, just not because we could not afford it. We didn't have a car, not because we couldn't afford it, but just because we feel like we need to help some other people to do things. I don't know if you get what I mean. We are giving people TVs before we started having TVs. And we were not, do you understand what I'm saying? We are giving people deep freezers and things already we didn't have. I don't know if you get it. So you find out that you must marry somebody you are agreeable with, not that the person thinks you're stupid. Somebody must find you agreeable. That's the primary thing. Because most of the times, especially with people with large hearts, you can accommodate several kinds of visions. What you're saying is, this person agreeable to me? Will this person be agreeable to me? Alright? So at the end of the day, it's agreeable. So when I hear somebody says, because whether you like it or not, women will change, men will change. I wasn't this big when I got married. My wife wasn't the way she was. I was having her a couple of days ago. Alright? And then I said, you were so slim, I didn't like it. Do you understand? And it's not that she's too fat. I said, I just like you the way you are. Alright? And maybe I don't see the difference. I liked you then, I like you now, and I think I will like you however you go. Because for me, what I like about you is not the way you look. So when I hear people say, women look a particular way for your husband, and I'm like, are you stupid? Are you stupid? Don't you know that bodies go through transformations? Don't you know? Even if for nothing, don't you know that even childbirth or just living up, you would grow, you would mature. The bodies will grow, all right? And I'm not saying that people should go around looking anyhow, but the body will grow. So why would you marry a container? Are you mad? Why would you say, okay, I'll change my mind based on container?